After our week in the amazing apartment in Ajijic, I drove us to a completely different kind of rental. It's a 2-bedroom house with a big backyard for the dogs, and it's only about 8 miles from Lake Chapala, but it seems like in the middle of nowhere because the long road in is so torn up, so you have to go really slow. One of the good things about a big old heavy brick house like this is it stays pretty cool on the inside. The house is very rustic, and I got a good deal for the rent for a whole month. There's a lot of space and privacy, and the backyard is great for the dogs. We're also close to Guadalajara, which is a city I'd really like to see. After getting the dogs settled into the new place for a few days, I left them home and went to explore Tlaquepaque. I find that when you're driving in a foreign country, obviously it's really important that you slow down and be very careful. You don't necessarily know the street signs, and a lot of times in Mexico the streets are not marked, and even on one-way streets you don't know. The good thing is that I found, at least in Mexico in my experience, that people don't shame you for your driving. At least not so far. Mexicans have a way of driving that's more pragmatic. They just do what works. But it's important to give yourself some grace in a new environment and just go slow. You'll find your way. Well, Tlaquepaque is a suburb of Guadalajara. It used to be a town in its own right, but it kind of got absorbed by the big city. The plaza that I went to was full of tourists, mostly Mexican, I think. I didn't hear any other languages going on around me. I found a place to park a few blocks away. I came in on a Sunday, which was great because they had half of the streets blocked off for pedestrians. But on the other hand, I didn't know my way around, so it was a little bit hard to find parking. And walked into a very thriving and vibrant downtown plaza. There were these amazing restaurants made for hundreds of people, and some of them had dozens of people on the outside waiting to get in. I poked my head in and I saw these amazing buildings with huge atriums full of amazing gardens and these magnificent entryways and just amazing restaurants. I ended up sitting down for lunch at one of the less crowded old-fashioned ones, and I had a good lunch of a shrimp cocktail, which the Mexicans are masters at. It's the only thing I was kind of familiar with on the menu, so that's what I got. And it was really good. It was the most expensive meal I've had in Mexico so far, but that's kind of to be expected in such a touristy area. There was a young lady getting her picture taken formally. I don't know if that was for a quinceañera. I don't know if they do that here or not. I ran into her later as well. And it was full of arts and crafts stores and amazing looking restaurants and beautiful colonial architecture. I really enjoyed it. It was a really lively scene with a lot of tourists. I only stayed for half a day, but it was a really nice trip. It was great to see part of Guadalajara, Tlaquepaque, and I was so impressed with all the arts and crafts and sculpture and art. One of my favorite things about Mexican culture so far is the inclusion of all family members in a fun day like this. I know it sounds like a cliche, but Mexicans really do have strong family values. You see very old people being assisted to join in, and the kids are not left at home either. They are expected to entertain themselves and be part of the shared celebration and activities. These kids were playing on this tree for about a half an hour, and their parents would circle by check on them. And it's just great to see people of all ages coming together and having fun. I love it. Well, my boy Viggo has been sick again. It's the same kind of thing. He got a few hot spots on his skin, and I had never had a dog who had a hot spot before, but they came like one after the other. And as soon as I treated them, they started to heal, except for this last one. And it's huge, it's ugly, it got infected like within a day. So we went to the vet again yesterday, different vet, and we got on pretty much the same regimen of anti-inflammatory shots with antibiotic cream. I'm gonna have to learn a way to help him prevent this from happening, this poor little guy. He's not feeling well. Once it gets to the infection stage, he really acts like he's not feeling well. He just sits over there by himself in the corner. My poor baby. So we need to find a way to prevent this kind of thing from happening in this kind of humid atmosphere. Apparently in Mexico, dog dermatology is a huge field because many dogs have a problem with the climate. So if you have any suggestions, you people out there, about dog skincare, please pass them on to me. Thank you.